Get this, adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Wondery. Greenlight.com/Wondery. Looking for your best sleep ever? Sleep Number smart beds are literally made for you. They adapt to your changing needs. So whether you're dealing with sore muscles or running hot at night, your bed automatically adjusts for optimal comfort. Want softer, firmer, cooler, warmer? With personalized firmness settings and temperature control that cools up to 20 times faster than leading competitors, you'll get the perfect sleep environment every night. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event, up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
This is Ricey. You've been hearing my friend Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, for years on the radio and Garage Logic podcast. With the new year approaching, I strongly recommend you sit down with Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation on your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can benefit from Josh's years of experience navigating different market and economic conditions, and he'll always give you straight talk and not sugar-coated advice. Give Josh a call now at 952-925-5608 to book your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did, and tell him Ricey sent you. Don't forget to ask, why is it 48 minutes, Josh?
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Ricey is a paid endorser.
Hear the song
for some time.
I got to go home and write a column.
Bye, boys.
Correct me on something.
Yes, sir.
When Cousins refused to get the old COVID vaccine,
yes,
didn't he throw out the religious objection? Does that ever come up?
Dad's a hardcore preacher, man. He moved from, I think he moved from Michigan to Florida because he wanted to be around more people.
But did he use the religious deal?
I don't know if he said it was religious or not.
Because he's now in Antigua getting stem cell treatment.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. It's
for his ankle?
It's
his Achilles.
His Achilles, yeah. He's probably in Antilles to enjoy the sunshine too, right?
Yeah.
With the family. But he became politically and religiously, that increased his popularity with a certain crowd. That the people are hard. There's guys on Twitter now saying this proves that if Kirk could have stayed healthy, we would have made a run this year because the
I did see some of that
because the NFC is so weak, which it isn't really weak, but
we were though at 1-4 at one point with Kirk as our quarterback,
and we were 4-4, and then they won 2 games with Dobbsy that Kirk probably would have won. But anyway, that's the theory. But yes, I don't know. Kirk is a very strongly religious, right? And Dad is to the right of Genghis Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Dad probably believes the trumpeter won the election too. So just like 68% of the Iowegians who voted for Trump did. Yesterday.
Well, there's 89. There's 99 counties in Iowa, Pat, and Trump won 98 of them.
Didn't win Des Moines, I take it.
Well, whatever that county is. He lost by 1 vote to Haley.
In Des Moines?
In that county.
Did you see the ads they were running about her?
No.
She hates Iowa.
Really?
Because she made some joke about Iowa and New Hampshire, and they were running it. And Fight for the Right was they kept running those ads during a football game last night, right? Didn't they?
What's that?
I saw the local type ad. They were running those ads in the football game.
Will he beat Biden?
I don't know. Yeah, it'll be, if there's ever been a case where we should steal one, it should be this one. So, We got to get Mayor
Don't
Daley.
use that word.
We got to get Mayor Daley back.
Yeah.
That's right. Make sure Illinois comes in. You know, you need those guys that wait to see what the vote is and then tell them. I was talking to an Irishman from Chicago on Friday night at the hockey game. Ed Murphy, his daughter plays for his star for the Gopher women's team, which got their rear ends kicked 2 games in a row by Ohio State. But he could have been sitting there next to George Wendt on Saturday Night Live talking about D-Bears and Ditka and stuff. What a character, man. He's from Greenway, is it Greenway? Or something right next to the South Side, right across. It's a suburb right across from the South Side.
Isn't it weird to have the Vikings so lowly now in the NFC Central?
No, we're everybody is going to project our boys 4th going into next season because the Bears
were coming on,
and they have the first pick.
Yep.
They're going to get the quarterback from Southern Cal, and then they're going to have 8th,
the 9th,
or 9th. So they're unless they screw them up, and I think. Their general manager is the guy we were going to hire, but he decided to go to Chicago. Ryan Poles was, so then we hired Kwesi. But Poles was the other candidate here, and it didn't look real good for him his first year. But they were doing the NFL version of tanking, which isn't quite as dramatic as the tanking in some other leagues. But they seem to know what they're doing. The big difference, though, with the Lions, Joe, I think, is they have a general manager that knows if he's on foot or horseback. Finally. They had, for 20-some years...
Man, they went through a lot of them.
20-some years, they had Russ Thomas, who was the drinking buddy of Bill Ford. That's why he had the job for 20 years. He was unbelievable. Then they had Millen for 8 years. I was talking to Robbie Parker today, and he said... And he was talking about how he took cheap shots at Millen, and Millen would say to him, "Those are pretty good. Those are pretty funny." Said he's a great guy. He just had no idea what he was doing.
Only issue, he'd say one small issue.
His only issue was he didn't know why he got the job. So it is astounding, Joe. 1992.
Yep.
Last playoff win, and 30 years without ever winning the division in a 4-team division.
Without even getting into the specifics of why I was looking it up, I was checking out the secondary market for Lions football Sunday morning.
Okay.
You could not get into the game for less than $400.
Really?
Yeah. And that was a standing room only ticket.
It was like here. It was 20 below zero.
It was freezing, yes. $400 just to get in, and you didn't have a seat.
Yeah, and they came very close to urinating it away in the fourth quarter too. Didn't you think? They were hanging on, but
I think it's a great story. I hope they continue. It's who do they have now?
They host the Tampas.
They host the Tampas. You ought to beat that little Baker Mayfield, huh?
They're playing well, though.
I know they are.
He's underrated. I mean, he got run out of Cleveland. He took Cleveland to a playoff win for the first time ever, and then he had a bad year, and they ran him out of town.
Was he Oklahoma?
Yes.
Yes.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Was he number 1 overall?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was in Cleveland. Cleveland loved him for 10 minutes, and then they turned on him like rattlesnakes.
Remember, he was riding high. He had every ad in the book. Remember, he was always on the
Mr.
ads.
Progressive.
And the Cleveland Stadium was his home, and he had the keys to it for the insurance purposes. And his wife was part of the ads.
They had the book clubs and
stuff like that. The whole deal, yeah. He was a big deal.
Yeah, and then he's all of a sudden Is he playing there because they want him to, or because they had some guy get
You're talking
hurt?
about in Tampa?
Yeah.
Well, Brady retired.
Oh, that's
and
right.
so they
Brady
needed a guy.
and they were stuck. Yeah,
They've had him since the beginning of the year, right?
Correct.
They brought him in for camp.
Yes.
Did they have him last year?
No, they didn't have him last. He was he was traded to Carolina at the beginning of last year. Then Carolina released him, and the Rams claimed him off waivers.
Released him?
Yes.
Boy, how lucky was he that he didn't have to stick around in Carolina.
Yep.
They won, 2 games?
He did play a few games with the Rams, didn't he?
Yep. He won a game late down the stretch.
And then what?
too.
The Rams said, "You're done here."
Well, Stafford was coming back.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
So he essentially hooked up with Tampa as a free agent.
Yes.
Huh. Now they got to pay him.
They're going to have to.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played well.
Yeah, it's
That's what I love about the NFL if you're a quarterback. You're either on a rookie deal making nothing or we got to give you $40 million.
Yes,
There's no in between.
that's why they pay some of these guys this ungodly amount of money. I mean,
Daniel Jones and
Kyler Murray, for God's sakes, the guy. They're having team meetings, going through the thing, and he's playing on his.
I'm going to tell you right now.
He's playing tic-tac-toe or
If
something.
if they polled most of Western New York, Josh Allen's not making enough.
Oh, God.
$100 million a year we need to give that
He
kid.
was,
He's got to be in the top 5.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he been paid already?
Yes.
That was quite a run he made.
Oh, the 3rd and 8?
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
All right.
I give the Buffalo Bills, everybody, they still had 12 feet of snow in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it on. The field looked like it was in a dome.
Right.
In
Yeah.
a dome.
It looked
was
perfect.
the cleanest field
Is
I've
that a
ever
heated field?
Yes.
Gotta
yes.
be. Is that real grass?
No, it's
No.
synthetic.
No, but it was like you could have played golf on it. It was
But look at the
unbelievable.
difference. Kansas City's real grass, and it looked terrible.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I got a question for you.
All right.
Why would anyone possibly be upset that Taylor Swift is at a football game? We saw her about 3 times. Right?
Joe, the floor is
We
yours.
saw her 3 times. How many times they have her on TV? 2 or 3?
Couple times, Pat, but here's who's upset. Even the likes of Tony Dungy.
Well, Tony Dungy
Tony
is a
Dungy.
right-wing jackass. You know?
Well, what does right wing have to do with Taylor
Yeah,
Swift?
That's because they're mad at her because she's getting out the vote, even though she doesn't tell you to vote for her.
Mm-hmm.
She tells you to register.
Wait, what? That's why we're mad at her?
That's one of the big reasons. Yeah.
Oh.
She's,
Did you notice the dance that she and
The one
Brittany,
thing they're doing,
that thing?
yeah, that's
but she
pretty
gives
good.
she gives it extra flair with some moves
yeah, the
that
other
only a
gals
rock
have-
and roller would have with the face moves like
yeah,
this.
Mahomes' wife doesn't have the
Oh,
same.
Brittany's a klutz.
She's trying.
She's just a klutz.
Yeah. But
Compared
I
to
think-
Taylor, she's
I
a
mean,
klutz.
The fact that it's humorous that your granddaughters are all into football.
telling you,
and
it
the
was the
wife
worst
is-
weekend of my life.
Humorous. But how anybody,
Okay, I'll sit down with you. We'll watch this game, huh? Oh,
But how can anybody be? I mean, there's people on Twitter just saying, "Get her off the TV." She's on like 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't, but nobody complained when we had Dallas Cowboys porno on, Cowgirls porno on. Let's see if we can lay down with the cameraman, lay down and shoot upward underneath their short skirts here, underneath their outfits. We don't do Cowgirls porno anymore.
the best thing is that everything she touches is turning to gold.
Yes, that's right. But I think she
You got to
must-
get her to hold a copy of your book.
But here's the deal. She's coming in there on a day when I know she's in the suite, but she's got to get in there. And
Yeah.
it's 7 below zero,
Right.
and it's terrible.
Yep.
And she's got $80 billion. She could stay anywhere she wanted to, and she must like the guy. And she's having a good time. Who's mad? I don't get it.
I don't know. Is it going to last?
There was a great photo, though, that says Taylor Swift trying to find the best hotel room in Buffalo. And, it's some rickety old,
right,
apartment
right.
complex with the freezer door falling off the fridge or whatever. It was pretty funny.
Oh, she could just buy one, too.
Or she'll just, as someone else pointed out, she might just sleep in her private plane. Who says she's going to...
Nobody. I'm shocked that she showed up this week because it was so,
That's her guy,
It's
though.
the playoffs, man. She's got to show
Yeah,
up.
but she's freezing to death.
Do you know why, though? Do you know why it's so great that she showed up to sub-zero weather? Because she still only missed 1 game, and it was here.
Yes,
That's
right.
the only game she's missed.
Why did she miss here?
She hates us.
No,
She
she
is.
probably had a gig.
Even though we hauled out 100, even though she hauled out the receipts from 130,000 people in
Yeah.
2 nights here, she should kind of like us.
Yeah.
Probably
I
only.
do love
They
it,
even
though.
cleaned up light rail for her.
Yeah, her cut Had to be $5 million for being here 2 days.
I think so.
I do love, though, the fact that the only game she's missed is the one here.
Yes,
It's
yes,
fantastic.
Right.
That's right. Oh, yeah. I was shocked that she made the New Year's Eve game because I think if Taylor Swift wanted to do a New Year's Eve gig somewhere, they'd probably give her about $3 million to show up, right?
Patrick, she went to Green Bay.
I know.
She went to Lambeau.
Not here, though.
No, not good
She
enough.
wanted to see the Lambeau Leap.
I think the Super Bowl being held in Vegas
boy.
is going to be hedonistic.
Joe, Reavers can tell you.
We ought to go just to people watch.
We should. 2,000 because the nearest room would be $4,000. But
Yeah.
in 2000, when we were still on the air, and they announced they were moving to Vegas, I said, if you're a 40-year-old hooker,
Get in shape.
now that the NFL's coming, you start working
You better
out.
start running marathons.
Yes,
In fact, I believe your quote was, "You got work to do, honey."
yes, you got every day. You don't want to be staying out till 4 in the morning.
Gotta watch your diet.
You got to get up in the morning
Yep.
and go to the gym for 3 hours because when the Packer fans and the Bear fans and now the Super Bowl fans.
Let's
I'm
work
telling
on
you,
the abs. You got to sit ups every
Can
day.
you two imagine what is going to happen if it is a Green Bay Buffalo Super Bowl in Vegas? God help all of us.
I think that would be just riotous.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't like the odds in either. Although I think the Bills can beat anybody. The Chiefs aren't that good. So where's who we got to worry about? Who's the Bills this week?
well, Baltimore's the 1 seed.
Yeah, right, they're
And
the one
I think they'll beat Kansas City, but I can't see them beating Baltimore. 'Cause
They are Baltimore.
Baltimore's got a good club.
Who can't beat Baltimore?
Buffalo.
Oh,
How did
I'm not saying they can't.
I
I'm just
wouldn't
saying.
put anything past Allen.
how did it get so damn cold in Kansas City?
That'll happen.
The jet stream, the
too
Calcutta
often.
Clippers.
It
She
was,
swung
comes down, goes up,
That was one
comes
of the
around.
Because it go down. Because I kept looking out the window, going, "Where's that snowstorm coming? Where's that baby? Where is that thing?"
Yeah.
Did you see what Tyreek Hill? There was a clip of him against Jarius Sneed where they were squaring off, and it said, "Tyreek don't want none of this," or something from the Kansas City account. He said, "You're right. I'm in Cancun." Tyreek Hill retweeted.
Oh, did he?
He was already on the beach.
The best Twitter response I saw all week, though, was somebody wrote, it was, 8 years ago today when Lane Kiffin left, or 6
Oh, yeah,
years,
yeah.
when Lane Kiffin left Tennessee. Do you remember where you were?
No.
And Lane Kiffin responded, yes.
I do remember where I was.
Because, he was there 1 year and
Right.
took off for Southern Cal.
Did
and they
he?
hated
Oh, so
him.
he left that for the Raiders job, or did he leave the
No,
Raiders
yeah,
job for
I
Tennessee?
think he left for Southern Cal, didn't he?
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
think he did. Maybe he left for the. I don't know.
I can't
whenever he
remember
left
which
Tennessee.
order it was. He's
But
had a few
He
gigs.
was only there 1 year, but God, he does a good job.
Yeah.
Ole Miss just backed up the truck again and kept him because he was supposedly going to go someplace. But how about the new Washington coach?
I didn't hear who they
Our
were.
Bruce's old friend Jed Fish.
You're kidding.
Jed Fish was Bruce's offensive coordinator, who lasted a year and he seemed like a complete idiot. Then he went to Arizona. He'd been kicking around. He'd had 8 or 9 jobs. He coached at Arizona for 1 year, 2 years, had a good year at Arizona. They just brought him into Washington.
Wow.
Jed Fish.
Not to be confused with Fisher. Who was the Fisher coach?
Steve,
Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher.
Todd
At
Fisher was our guy.
At Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
he's long gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was. They say he was one of the worst coaches ever. Just a dummy. But he had a good team 1 year with no offense.
Almost won a Super Bowl.
Yes, he did. But anyway, 25-year reunion. So I suppose we'll be reading reflections, and both. Everybody will be doing one right on the
Is that tomorrow already?
tomorrow. Yeah, Wednesday's the 25th.
This is the
anniversary.
Gary Anderson kick.
Gary Anderson kick.
Broke our hearts.
I
survived
I had
that.
You did?
somebody
Yeah.
checking. Somebody was trying to do something, and they asked me who they should talk to, and I said it would be great to get all the Chris Chandler, the Atlanta quarterback who played great that day, and they didn't have a false start. We were going to intimidate him with the Metrodome noise, but I heard he's having memory issues. So
Oh, really?
check,
He can't be that old, is he?
Yeah.
I suppose he's got to be 50 or 60.
You're an NFL quarterback and you get sacked a lot. So,
Kelsey quit Philadelphia.
yeah.
Yep, Nelson's
The old
retired.
He
line.
might survive without memory issues. But if she sticks with Travis, she'll be feeding him soup out of with a straw because he's been hit 50 times.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to. She's gone through quite a few guys. She's not going to.
Yeah, why is she going to settle for one she's got a nurse?
Well, I think she'll be in a position to pay for the nursing.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Pat. I don't think she'd be the one changing the diaper.
I
if you
just
know what I'm
can't
saying.
understand though why people are mad at her for being at a football game. I don't.
Tony Dungy said something really. He said it's disenfranchising to the fans.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
He doesn't know what he's talking.
Plus, doesn't he still work for NBC?
Well, no matter who you work for, the corporate word would probably be to root for Swift.
Yes.
Because what is it?
what
The
do you-
high tide raises all the boats?
That's right.
And what do you think the NFL thinks about this? Having 7-year-old girls watching football
Yes.
games.
Well, she's ruined the game. There's no doubt about that. For a grandfather, she's ruined the game.
Yes, she has.
Hey, what time are we going to turn the game on? What do you mean, we?
And you can't go switch to the other game
Because there is only one game.
Because if they come back,
You might miss her.
it might miss.
Might miss the shot in the booth.
Yes.
What a bunch of...
What is the dance we're doing when we're going back
No
and forth?
idea.
Is that
We're
just
kind of doing a mini,
just kind of invented.
just look like we're just having fun.
Yeah. Well, she comes back to town. I think you and I should go.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go. She's a hell of an athlete, apparently.
And we'll hold up a sign. Why didn't you ever go to a Vikings game?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. That's.
Do we have to pause today?
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
Well,
but
then-
I first need to hear from Patrick in regards to our friends at Jim Paul's
I
Valley
thought that was the
Automotive Group.
pause.
We do the ad,
And then we
pause.
Oh.
That's how it
what
goes.
I did today for the Jim Paul ad? I did some research.
Really?
I looked at the website, and you can go
That's
right
good.
on the website and fill out a little form, and they're going to tell you that you qualify for these fantastic interest rates. You're qualified to buy. And then I looked at the stock. Lots of SUVs. They got the Sierra truck, but then they got the Chevy trucks, the Colorado, right?
That's
the
a
smaller
Chevy
That's a
truck.
smaller truck. And then again, I was looking at the inventory, and they got sedans, which there's not too many people buying them. You got deals that are unbelievable.
think they're
for
giving
the
them away.
sedan. Sedan is, there's nothing wrong with a sedan.
No.
It fits in your garage.
I have one.
Yes, they're fine
Yeah.
vehicles. Just because your neighbors have an SUV doesn't mean you have to have one. You can have your own sedan at a very reasonable price from Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. But if you got to get an SUV, they got 3 or 4 varieties. And then they got the trucks. What the hell more do you want? This
right.
is, Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers. Just fill out the little form there, and you're going to qualify for a terrific interest rate. And I bought my last 5 or 6 cars there. There must be a reason for that. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers, Apple Valley, and Hastings. Reavers is bought from them. Where did that come from?
The flower.
The 5-0, they finally won they won a game. They got far enough ahead that they couldn't blow it. They go out and dominate and get 5-0. And the Flower, who's only been here a couple of years, ends up. He's now our star because he gives us something to cheer about, right?
Is the island any good?
Team went crazy.
Who?
The island.
Fair to Midland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why am I having trouble placing Roberto Luongo?
Well, he was a New York guy. He was an Islander, wasn't
But
he?
he also played for Vancouver, didn't he?
Yeah, yes, he did. He was a great goalie. He was like a #1 overall draft
The
choice. I think.
Flower is the only active goaltender of the top 5.
Pull your mic up. Sir.
Oh, look where it
really?
is.
Yeah.
Look where that
it's
is.
right on top of your hand.
Yeah.
The Flower is the only active goaltender of the top 5.
They got one down there. You know, I haven't used it this week, but I'm kind of like this and that one. keeps creeping down on me.
So, John, here's what I would say.
I was talking about Roberto Luongo.
Yes. Oh, God, he had to be in the league 15 years, didn't he? Who's won? Dryden? Who's won?
Brodeur,
Oh, how far has he got to go?
691, and the Flower only has 552. I don't like the Flower's chances.
No, but I don't think he does either. But
No.
man, Brodeur, you know what? He had the advantage. His teams won 50 games a year when he played.
He was a devil.
yeah, they won.
Jock had him for a while, right?
You know what though? What do we got? Our top 3, all Frenchies, right?
Brodeur, Fleury, Roy,
Yeah.
Wasn't there a
Luongo,
great
and Belfort. Ed Belfort's a frog, isn't he?
Wasn't there a great Martin Brodeur off the ice story?
There's probably many. He was quite a character.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
See if I could find it. I thought it had something to do with Mrs. Brodeur.
There might have been.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I could find it because I thought it was.
really?
Yeah, let me verify. I don't want to throw out it. You know, we're fact based here. I don't want to throw out anything that's.
So we're just dealing with innuendo here right now.
Right, let
Anyway,
me see
we're
if I can
not
find
really. But man, alive. So
I
he's
didn't
got
see the game yesterday. I wonder how many goals they scored by actually shooting it from the blue line.
I
They're
don't
so
know.
taken with the idea of possessing the puck and playing ping pong with it. Drives me crazy. Shoot
No.
it.
But the first 3 weeks that Heinze was there, they were shooting it.
Yeah, well, they
And now
stopped
they're
shooting
back.
it.
Now they're back, huh?
Yeah.
When are they going to get the 2 defensemen back? They might, everybody wants them. Everybody last week was, okay, time to tank. Let's tank for a draft
Wouldn't this have
choice.
been a good week to cover them? They're going to Tampa, then they're going to Miami, and they're going to Carolina during this cold stretch. That would be fun.
That's a tough road trip, though. Those 3 teams are. Tampa's not as good as they were.
I don't give a damn about the hockey. I'm
Florida's
saying
good.
for the weather.
Carolina's good. You know what bothers me? I don't mind Florida teams being good because, okay, it's, a lot of population down there, a lot of Northerners. Carolina's had a good team here for about 5 years, too. How could
They have a cup.
Raleigh, North Carolina. They don't know anything about it. They've never gone to a hockey
And that,
game.
have you ever been there?
No, in the city,
Yeah. It's not much of a town.
No. It's,
And the rink's out on a freeway interchange someplace.
yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I don't think I was there.
I
Probably
like
haven't been there
that
in
part of
10
the
years.
country.
Oh, yes.
Raleigh-Durham area. But Raleigh's not, it's St. Paul-like in terms of its lack of activity.
Yeah, it's, I've been down there doing basketball stories. They got the 4 colleges within 12 miles of each other or something,
Right.
and they're all basketball
But the
schools.
Carolinas do have a nice club.
Yeah, they do. It's, you know what, though? That league is just totally unpredictable night to night. It's just
Yeah, like
I
this.
found
everything's
the
the same.
I found the Martin Brodeur off ice story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Martin was married to Melanie Dubois.
I'll say.
Dubois.
They had 4 children
4
together.
children.
Melanie filed.
must have met her when she was 17 or
Right.
something.
Melanie filed for divorce during the 2003 playoffs
Holy cow.
because apparently Martin had begun having an affair with Melanie's brother's wife.
Melanie's brother's wife.
So that would be his sister-in-law's.
his sister-in-law.
Or no, sorry, his brother-in-law's wife is
Right.
who Martin started to see.
Right.
And apparently, Melanie was so frustrated. During games, she would call his phone and leave messages about people she was involved with.
Oh, that's
So
right.
Martin had a little trouble in the old play.
I remember that.
That was bad timing for Martin.
I remember that story yet. Who broke that story?
Oh, I have probably the New York Post. I mean, who have,
Did they ever reconcile?
No, it doesn't appear so.
No, they
It does not
probably,
appear so. So she's during their, he's.
Oh, yeah, Martin? Well, how about this?
He's playing the
She's
Rangers.
sending them
And
videos.
she's sending him texts. We would have been sending texts in 03,
I
right?
gotta think those.
No. 08 was a cell phone. 08 was Apple.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. 03 had
You know
flip
what?
phones.
Undefeated.
It really
You
is.
can't beat it.
Even during the playoffs.
I gotta think that. I gotta think those French gals could get a little upset.
I think so.
They seem to be.
I think that's fair.
That is a pretty good story. That's not quite with up there with Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich trading wives.
Well, they traded, yeah.
That was a
With
good one.
players to be named later.
Didn't Kekich end up getting killed? Was he?
I don't
know.
I don't know.
know.
One of them, I think they've stayed together. One of the couples, the other one divorced early.
I can't keep track, Pat.
Well, Fritz, that was a great story, and that was broken in we're talking
In the
70s,
80s.
80s. We're talking 80s.
Early 80s.
That's when America was easily shocked.
Yeah.
Who had the scoop for that
after
one?
the 70s, we weren't.
That wouldn't
easily
even make
shocked.
the news today.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That'd be the whole hum. Oh well, big deal.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that is a good.
Your Gopher basketballers looked hopeful.
No.
Then what
they
happened?
did. Boy, their defense last night, it was layup city. Did Mr. Reavers watch the game?
I'm guessing he did, but I did not receive a phone call, so I'm wondering.
I watched the second half. It was a layup drill for Iowa, and the crowd, I don't know how small it was, but it was sounded like church. There was no noise at all in there.
Because the
didn't
game,
look like there were many people in there.
what
either.
time was the tip yesterday?
5:00.
Okay, I know there's not. I mean, college basketball, especially in this town, is always going to be fifth fiddle, whatever. They got to schedule these games at better times.
Yeah, Sunday afternoons, stupid.
You're going up against football. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Weren't you also going up against the Wild?
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
You're also going up against weather.
Right,
You know, you
right.
gotta. We used
Why
to
not one in
play-
the afternoon?
On a
used to play
Saturday.
at 1
That's
o'clock
when
on
college
Saturday.
basketball needs to be
Because
played.
it's big. The Big Ten Network has screwed up the schedule completely because they want programming. So they make basketball teams play on Sunday evenings and Sunday late afternoons, and it's stupid. Back in the day when it was great, you played at home Thursday night and Saturday afternoon. And then you went on the road the next week and played the travel partners. Our travel partner was Iowa and Ohio State and Michigan, and we didn't have Nebraska, and we didn't have Big Ten expansion. Who cares about football? But Big Ten expansion has been horrible for Big Ten basketball.
I was listening to an interview, and I don't remember the name of the guest, but a college football writer that basically said what the NCAA needs to do is football needs to be its own entity.
Yes.
Football should just be divided much like the NFL divides up its league, where you treat it just like that, and the rest of the sports need to be treated like they used to be. That's the only thing that's going to correct this, because you're not going to send the Gopher tennis program to go play.
You're going to have to do it, though. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense.
Meanwhile, your alma mater, they're getting, I think they're in first place in hockey. And now the league is really balanced. The one Mankato and all those, because Mankato's down.
Yeah, we're down.
And then the basketball teams, both the women and the men, the basketball team swept 2 road games, including Oral Roberts. And they're, what are they, 5-2, something like that in the league?
Are they still ineligible for postseason?
Yes.
This is it, though, right? Then they aren't.
No, 5 years.
Oh, I thought it was
They're trying
2.
to get that changed to 4, but
Oh, boy.
this is year 3. But they're doing well in hockey. Now, women's hockey, they aren't doing too well yet, but men's hockey and both basketball programs are doing well. So good for them.
Wait till they get those facilities.
Yes, wait till they get to and
Hey, do you
good thing
blame
is-
the people in St. Paul for having second doubts or thoughts about the location of that hockey arena? But you're going to have a big hockey arena right in the middle of a really nice neighborhood. I don't know what the hell they're supposed to
The
do.
other thing, Joe, is we're going to build the ramp next door.
Yeah.
So the game will, you know how the Dodger fans get there late and always leave in the seventh inning?
Yeah, I can
You're
identify.
going to have to leave with 10 minutes to go
Yep.
in the basketball game. And at the end of the second period, you're going to getting out of that ramp and then going, they're going to build a ramp and going out onto one of those streets.
Well,
What are
you'd
you
be
gonna
going
do?
out onto Cretan.
Or that little street that runs.
That's Goodrich. Or Summit.
The one that runs north-south. I mean,
That's Cretan.
yeah, but on the other side, the back there where they come out the back way. What
There
is
is
that?
no back. There is no.
There's a tiny little street.
No,
back
it's a
there.
driveway that leads to priest residences. It's not a street.
Well, whatever it is, how are you going to get out of that?
And then you're going to flood River Boulevard with traffic.
Yeah, you're going to have to get cops down there and stop everybody for days. It's
There's a suit filed. I got to think the civilians might win it.
to prevent it.
Yeah.
Who owns the land?
I don't have a horse in the race.
Does the school own the
St.
land?
Thomas owns the land, and Lee Anderson has decided to build the building.
Right.
But now you've got a very firmly established residential area.
Oh
there
yes, firmly established.
That's saying, what the hell is this?
You can't park there now.
Right.
When I go to a football game, I go across Marshall, and then I park on that street over there and walk like 4 blocks.
Okay.
You know, as soon as if you get there early enough, you can park on the street. But otherwise, you're out of luck.
My answer?
Here's their problem.
I got an answer.
What?
The hell with academics. Tear down some classrooms. Put it right in the middle of Summit and Cretan.
Well, I said to Glenn Caruso a couple of years ago, is there any thought of tearing down that big student union building and putting that parking lot back in there? That parking lot in front next to the football stadium, that was okay.
Yep.
You could go in there and circle around and somebody'd leave.
I think you've told me, but why don't they just have the football team play at the soccer stadium and put the hockey arena where the
soccer
football
team doesn't want them in there that often. Plus, they can't afford it, rent-wise.
Okay.
And
'Cause wouldn't that make
but
sense to
here's
have them
their
play there?
But
problem.
it sure as hell be cheaper than building a stadium.
Well, they're not going to build a football stadium. This is all they're going to get.
All right.
They're going to stay in that league. But their problem is they have 80 acres. St. Thomas.
Yeah.
I found this out when I went to Harvard. Harvard has 5,000. They have 80.
Wow.
That ain't enough.
No.
How about some of those couple of those restaurants across that little hamburger joint and those places? They might have to buy those.
That's
and move them
Grand
out.
in Cleveland.
Yeah, wherever it is. over
Grand
there.
in Cleveland.
Yeah.
There's not enough room there if you bought Devani's and the rest of them.
No, I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, but they're going to build the base.
DAVANNI. Apostrophe S, and don't forget the lasagna.
Yeah, nothing will ever top George's ad for J.D. Hoyt.
99.
Counting off the steps. Counting off the steps. But not before he made an irreverent joke about having the strip joint next door. What was the name of that place?
Deja vu.
Deja Vu. Still there.
If only there was a large parcel of land next to the St. Thomas University that the school could acquire.
That's right. There is, there is. There is
The offer was pathetic.
I see.
rolling. Boy, would that be scenic, though.
Oh, wouldn't it, Pat?
You could have
All right, come on.
They'd be tailgating on that hills up there, and then the stadium would be overlooking the river.
Oh, it'd be just
fantastic.
majestic. Just beautiful.
All right, that's enough. I gotta go home and write a column.
We'll see ya.
Yeah, goodbye.